Okay, ladies, I have to make this video because a lot of you be giving up those sugar walls too early. You're giving up too easily, okay? So how do you regain power after sex, after giving him the goods, rocking his world, right? I'm going to show you. So here's a rule of thumb I I live by, okay, with my work. I get a lot of shit for it, but if you keep this in mind, you're going to have a very good understanding of the power dynamics. Women control sex, men control relationships. That doesn't mean women don't want sex. That doesn't mean men don't want relationships, but just keep that frame right there in mind for the rest of this video and other videos I teach forever and ever and ever and ever. Okay, it really helps to understand how the power dynamic moves through the spectrum with that phrase in mind. Okay, so if you want power back, there are several things I think you need to do to change the context in your favor. And for those of you who do not know what context is, I talk about it a lot in my program. Check that out, links down below. But I have videos on it. But in the program, but for the most part, it's basically the things you guys do and say over time, okay, over the period of time that layers it layers to the point where it might feel like something that is casual, chill, whatever, to something serious. And he has to answer to that seriousness. So, for example, if you have a guy who's showing a lot of interest and then pulling away, the reason probably for that would be that he's the context got so serious. Again, it can be anything. It could be consistency, frequency, the amount of dates you're on, date 10, whatever. It can be the future planning, the love bombing, the pacing, the leaving shit over his house, the cuddly shit, the shit you guys have said. Anything can create context. And when you're on the same page, context is great. When you're on a different page, context eventually splits you apart because he feels like, well, if I keep on complying and going along with the context, it's telling her I'm on the same page when I'm not. And then that's why a guy shows that by pulling away or telling her something different. So just understand you need to change the context. We'll get into all that, okay? So here are several things you need to do. I feel like the reason a lot of women lose is because they feel they're losing. They have something to lose after hooking up with the guy. Because of what I said right here, right? She gave up sex but didn't get the relationship. So what happens? She's seeking validation. She's not giving him space. She's feeling like he's pulling away and that she's not a value or desired anymore. She becomes very outcome dependent and she feels like she needs this relationship, okay? Or this guy just hit and quit it. You got to stop all that. You have to go in with prize mentality. And I'm always hesitant on telling women that because you don't get to dictate your value. You get to uphold what you believe your value is, but the market dictates your value. But you should still go in there thinking, hey, I'm the fucking shit. I'm hot shit. Instead of chasing a guy. Because when you start chasing the guy, that's just obvious. Like, logically, you're going to see the power dynamic shift, okay? So I just want to say this real fast. I am not a believer in telling women to hold their mouth closed, to bite their lip, and not feel the emotions, to not be authentic, and communicate how they feel. Because if this is a real great guy, a nice guy, everything should be going well. He should be blowing up your shit. I always say sex is a stepping stone towards a relationship. But when a guy's pulling away, when the guy's acting different, when the guy's treating you casual, and obviously it's day and night difference from before and after sex, you got to start playing this kind of shit. And again, I teach all this extra in more depth in my course. But I call it framing, okay? And framing is like context, but it's the frame. It's like right in front of you. Whoever has the stronger frame between you two is going to win, okay? And up to this point, he believes because you gave him sex. Now, ladies, I'm not saying don't put out for a guy. That's not what I'm saying. Like I said, it is a beautiful thing when you're moving towards a relationship. You should have sex with the guy if it's moving towards a relationship. 99% of guys will not commit to you unless you have sex with them before a relationship, which you should. Why am I going to buy the car if I haven't test drove it? Women don't like that analogy, but it's the truth. But at the same time, women, he is not obligated to sex. He is not entitled to it. He needs to work. I always say he needs to earn the fuck. I know that's a horrible term, but he needs to earn the fuck. Like, he needs to put in the effort. He needs to show his interest. He needs to be consistent. And most importantly, you need to trust that when you give him this power, and when you become vulnerable, he's not going to take advantage of it. A lot of women don't think of that part. They think of just, I'm horny, I want it, I'm in the moment, and they do it, which is fine, but there could be consequence and repercussions to your actions. But anyway, what I'm saying here is he controls the frame. If you're talking to a guy who wants a relationship, this doesn't matter. If you're talking to a guy who is unsure, he controls the frame. He's going to start treating it casual because he feels, I have her, I got what I wanted. This is casual. I'm not sure what I want, so I'm not going to invest my resources into her, okay? So basically, whoever has the more convincing frame wins. Your frame is going to be, is this the last one? Yeah. So your frame is going to be that you're the high, again, going all the way back to what I said here. Do this stuff. It's not so much what these things are individually as what they are as a whole, the frame they create. It's like, dude, you're not as hot shit as you think you are. You're not as sought after as you think you are, right? And these guys usually do come back, or these guys usually do invest in a woman long term. I'm not saying play games. If you want to call the dude out, you could go ahead and call the dude out on shit. I don't think that's a bad idea, to be honest, and women don't like that for whatever reason. I don't know why, but women don't like it because they're like, well, I don't want to feel needy. I don't want to feel this. I don't want to feel that. I don't want to chase. You're not chasing. You're just asking for some clarity because he's acting like a fucking fool after sex. You have the right to feel that way. Okay? But what I tell women is, it's only when you truly don't give a shit that this stuff actually starts working. A lot of women like to play it off. But it's when this is the hard part, it's when you truly don't care. It's when you truly don't care that for some effing reason, it just manifests into something in your favor, okay? Now, I tell women all the time, there's reasons why guys are going to treat you casually after this kind of stuff. Maybe there's a lack of attraction to begin with. He wants to save resources. Now, he doesn't think of it like that, but that's just how we are from an evolutionary perspective. Like, if I can say, hey, come over and let's bang, instead of taking you out on 3 dates, 4 dates to get the bang, I'm going to do the first thing. Why? Because there's just no reason for me to take you out on several dates. So he's going to save resources, time, energy, effort, money, things like that. Another reason we take women for granted another reason we treat you casual is we take you for granted, which goes all the way back to the shit I said here. If you're doing these things, the opposite of these things, you're going to be taken for granted. So don't do that shit. Don't do that shit. And then lastly, which I said about 5 minutes ago, is he's trying to avoid creating a certain context, meaning context over time gets serious. It just has to, because it layers up. So if he feels like, he's obligated to give you a relationship and he's not ready for a relationship, he's going to start acting a little different. He might pull away. He might start treating you casual. He might do hot and cold to give you a little idea instead of just communicating, but he's going to do something in terms of actions to hint, hey, I'm not on the same page, like chill. Okay. But ladies, if there's anything I want you to get out of this, it's to get my damn program. But other than that, you have to understand, whoever has the more convincing frame wins. His frame is winning because he is convinced that, and you're convinced too, that he likes you less of the two. He likes you less than you like him. so he could treat it casually. And like I said, if this is a guy who's wanting a relationship, this will not happen. If this is a guy who does want or who doesn't want one, you're going to get these kind of games left and right. But he has the more convincing frame. He's convincing, meaning you both agree he's winning. You both agree he likes you less. You both agree he got what he wanted and you didn't. It's when you change that shit though, where you're just like, dude, I don't really care. Like, you're not hot shit. I can get better. And you start playing more prize mentality, you're going to start winning, ladies, okay? So if that, I hate saying winning because it's lose-lose unless you both win. But that being said, ladies, do these things right here. Think of it in terms of framing and context, and you will get a lot further than just wondering, oh, what should I do? Should I do this? Should I do that? Why is he doing what he's doing? If you want to figure all that out, get my program. Other than that, ladies, I love you all. Take care and peace.